This is the TRU Leader Podcast. Today we talk about leadership norms, why they cause suffering, and sharing all the reasons why now is the time to create new leadership norms. Don't miss it.
Welcome to the TRU Leader Podcast. I'm Dr. Tracy Christofferson.
And I'm Michelle Trosett.
We are life and business besties, leadership coaches and mentors, and polarity intelligence experts. We're the authors of Polarity Intelligence, The Missing Logic in Leadership, and co-founders of Missing Logic.
We are here to help high-achieving leaders break through leadership norms that cause them suffering at work and home. If you're looking to elevate your leadership, increasing your productivity, effectiveness, and impact, and manage your health and well-being, spend quality time with those you love, and live your best life, then you are in the right place.
Our goal in this podcast is to equip you with new ways of thinking and practical and tactical strategies for succeeding at work and thriving in life. Think of this podcast as your weekly dose of personal and professional development so you can reach your full leadership potential, create a life you love, and be what we are calling a thriving, resilient, and unstoppable or true leader.
If you are ready to learn and laugh a little, let's get started.
Well, welcome, listeners. It's another wonderful day in the podcast studio with Tracy and Michelle on the TRU Leader Podcast.
And we're true leaders, and we're back.
We are back for another incredible conversation, dialogue, episode of fun and joy on leadership, leading and living with leaders.
That's right. Leading and living a balanced life.
Yeah, that too. Yep. We got it all going on here.
We do.
Yeah, we're just having a good time.
We're here to change some things.
Ooh,
we are.
What are we going to change? Norms.
Norms.
We're here to talk about those good old leadership norms again. We like talking about leadership norms. You can't talk about them enough.
We figured everyone has been indoctrinated with these norms for so long that we had to do every episode. I'm not just kidding.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Here's the thing. If you don't shine a flashlight, a light on it, people don't see it. So we're here to shine a light on it because they're not helping us.
That's right. And they're not helping our country or the world.
No. Tell us about that, Michelle.
I will. Well, it is no secret that burnout and mental health issues are a national crisis. And that was coined by the Surgeon General when he came out with his critical imperative of what is happening in our country with mental health and well-being in the workplace. And he put out a U.S. Surgeon General's report in 2022 and spelled out pretty clearly the impact that is having, not just in healthcare, but in all industries. Mm-hmm. And when you think about it, Tracy, most of us spend most of our waking hours working or in a work environment, and people are burning out.
We're at work more than we're at home.
Yep. So true. True.
It has been that way for a long time. Well, and now it's just even more so.
Yeah, even more. It keeps escalating. There's really no signs of it getting better. And recently we did a podcast episode on CEOs who are burning out and leaving their roles. That was episode 256. And it was really sad. What's coming out about CEOs committing suicide and them leaving their roles due to burnout. And so it really is showing the negative effects on both individuals and their organizations. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And recently, Microsoft did a most recent work trends index. It was a global survey of workers from across multiple industries and companies. It was published also in September of 2022, and more than half of managers, 53%, report feeling burned out at work.
Wow.
It's a lot of burned out people out there, and a lot of them are in leadership roles, right?
Yeah.
So the pandemic, we know, has really shifted perceptions of work-life balance, and workers are asking more from their leaders and organizations because after going through the pandemic, they know there's a lot more to life, and they want to make sure that they don't get caught in this reality for the rest of their working lives.
Yeah. Well, it impacted a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And it's always, when you go through something major like that, it's always cause to step back and evaluate the things that are happening in your life and how much of it you're enjoying and what you're not and what you want different, right? So here we go. And we're living in that VUCA time again, right? It's volatile. There's a lot of uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity, all those things. There's just so much going on. And there isn't really, we haven't really, I don't think, gotten to a new normal post-pandemic, and it's been a while. But still, right, it's just, a lot of things changed, and there's a lot of increasing demands. Their staff are really looking for more empathy from their leaders, and, just a lot of different requests, a lot of escalating demands, and, just reduced resources. So we're still whirling and swirling from the post-pandemic effects. And, as Michelle mentioned, burnout is a big part of that. And burnout really is stress in the workplace, and it results from exhaustion, cynicism, and a perceived lack of professional accomplishment. That's really what burnout is. And there's a lot of contributing factors to that. There's no one thing, I don't think, right? It's just a number of different contributing factors. Some of them are having an unsustainable workload, which many people experienced during the pandemic and have since because of shortage of resources, perceived lack of control, insufficient rewards for the effort they are putting forth. So people are feeling like they're not being appreciated enough, a lack of supportive community, a lack of fairness, and mismatched values and skills. And so those are some of the things that kind of contribute to that development of burnout. And we wanted to talk a little bit about norms, because norms are, patterns of beliefs or behaviors that we've come to live. We've been indoctrinated with them. They're just a part of what we believe, and we believe them forever. We don't even know we believe them, and we act on them unconsciously. And they can be contributing factors as well. And that's what we found in our work over the last 4 or 5 years. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about that, because they can cause suffering in leaders. There's a lot being put on the leaders' shoulders, right? Fix the systems and, reduce burnout. And there's a lot happening with that. And we're on a mission to just bust through any leadership norms that have a negative consequence for the leader, that leave them feeling like they're suffering, any unintended negative consequences that come from them. And we really want to create a movement where we embrace new norms where, leaders feel fulfilled, and they are focused on their well-being, and they're thriving, and they're being their best both personally and professionally. And so anything that we can do to eliminate any of these norms, of beliefs, old patterns that are also contributing to burnout, then we want to do that. And that's what we're all about.
That's what we're all about. And
So we're going to keep talking about it. Just know that.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about what norms are. Norms are just patterns of behavior that emerge over time, and they're an expectation of an organization or society. And, there's a lot of leadership norms that have been in place because it's kind of like just the way that it's always been. And for those of us that, had leader mentors, we actually had these norms role modeled to us. And they become then a belief.
Yeah.
So some of them might sound a little bit like this, that you have to work hard to be successful, right? You have to pay the price. And that's just the way that it is. And this is what leaders do. So it becomes a normalized behavior of working really long hours and sending emails at all hours. And it's just like you're never turning it off. And it's also, you may sound like, well, this is just why I make the big bucks, right? I have to justify making this money, so I have to work harder than the average Joe or average Jane.
Yeah, and those are sacrifices leaders make, right?
Yeah.
That's why they get paid like that. Yeah.
And then, there's a lot that's been done on servant leadership. And while servant leadership is really great, it also has a negative consequence if you're always serving others to the neglect of serving yourself. And you don't recognize how many sacrifices you are making over time. And then there's also the leadership norm of not being able to say no. That it's just an expectation when a request comes down from higher up that you are on board and that it's really important. We've just developed those rules, and including I don't have a choice. And so the organization is really what comes first.
Oh, yeah. Organization, mission, team before everything else.
Yep.
Last man off the field.
Yes.
Right? That's what it becomes.
That's what you do when you're a leader.
And the thing is, these are unconscious. So, we don't point them out to make anybody, feel bad about it. It just, these are the realities. We lived them. They're just how it is. It's again, just kind of that unspoken way of being a leader. And it just happens over time, and we all kind of go to that leadership school. And sometimes they might even tell you, like, don't do what I've done, right? Because they know, but you end up giving it your attention, and pretty soon that's where you're at, right? Because it's what everybody else is doing. And if you're following any of these norms, then you're more than likely doing a few of these different things as well, right? Saying yes to requests for your time and attention or expertise more than saying no. And especially when you would rather say no, you're saying yes. You stay late or bring work home on evenings and even do some work on the weekends, all to catch up, stay on top of things. And you may also, when your partner or spouse or significant other, whoever's in your life, when they ask about how hard you're working, more often than not, you just say, well, I don't have a choice. This is what I got to do. You're just going to have to hang in there. It's what I got to do. This is how it is. And maybe you sacrifice your personal time with the family or friends at least once or twice a week because you've got work you got to get done. So you're like begging off on, having dinner with friends or spending time with the family because, I got some things I got to get done. I can't do that. And if that's you, it's okay. It's all you've ever known. It's just what we've known as leaders.
Yeah, we're just trying to shine that light on it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
because
okay.
it could be totally unconscious.
Not trying to shame anybody.
That's right. That's right. And, like Tracy said, it's just for many of us what was role modeled for us. Yep. And it just continues on because that's why we keep saying it is a leadership norm. And you just pick it up unconsciously, and then pretty soon you're that leader, and you didn't even know how you got there. And, you're not alone. We've done this too. Tracy and I haven't had a totally balanced life our whole career.
Oh, gosh, no.
No, and we actually had some pretty unhealthy leadership norms.
Oh, my.
So, Tracy, just think back. How long have we worked together?
Well, we've known each other for almost 40 years. So almost 40 years.
Yeah.
Because we met at work.
And we worked together in many different capacities and many different roles. So when was a time when you think back that really it just would blow our minds today to think, wow, I did that?
Oh, I can just very clearly. I worked in a team that would go out to different organizations and we would do assessments. And we had a standard that we would deliver the results in a full report to the leadership team before we left the site. So the assessments would last maybe 2 or 3 days. And we would have a team of people, like maybe 6, 7, 8 people. We'd all go to different areas in the organization. And we would interview people all day long. I'm talking from 8 o'clock until probably 5 o'clock. And then we would come back. We would work until late in the evening, compiling the information. We'd go back the next day, gather more information, work until late in the evening, compiling the information. And we'd be working until 11, 12 o'clock at night. And that final night, there were some nights we never even put the pen down or didn't have the report completed until 4 a.m. And we would be back at 8:30 in the morning to deliver that report. And we did that week after week after week.
Yeah. I remember those days.
It was gruesome. And it was all because we had made a commitment to deliver the report before we left the site. And it takes a lot to synthesize and compile. And you've got 8 different people with their eyes on an organization, right? So, and it was the most unhealthy thing we ever did. It was really challenging.
And a lot of it was manual back then too.
Oh,
right?
Oh yeah. And I'm having PTSD. No, I remember one night we did this till 3:00, and I was the one creating the PowerPoints. And the leader said, "Should we just check those before?" I go, "No, they're all there. They're fine." I got up in the morning, could not find the PowerPoints. And I'm not kidding you. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. My heart was just boom, 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 boom. Called one of my teammates. I go, "Oh my God, I can't find the presentation. I can't. Come down here right away.
Call 911.
Oh my God." She was able to pull them up to find them, and I was just like, oh, wow.
That's a memory you'll never forget.
Oh, I never did that again. Let me tell you, I learned that lesson because we would have had nothing to present. It would have been really bad.
Yeah, I do remember doing that too.
What about you?
Actually,
been one of your times when?
Actually, that does stand out. Those days of those long assessments and PowerPoints. It's almost like doing awards at a conference, and turning pictures around too, and staying up all night doing that.
Yeah.
You know what comes back to me is my dining room table in my house, and how my dining room table became my office for my whole family for like a matter of about 2 years. And every time I would leave, I'd say, "I'm so sorry about the dining room table." But I just had so many projects going on and so many things that it was a slow creep, and then it just kind of took over. And I would always say, "This is just the way it is. I just got to keep going. This is the way that it is." But I've thought about that dining room table a lot the last few years.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was always full.
It was always full. Stacks and stacks. A printer even ended up on that dining room table eventually. Yeah. Well,
we see a lot of this with leaders all over the country. I mean, we're talking to leaders all the time. And, these are the things that we're hearing from leaders. So if any of this resonates with you, you're not alone. Leaders are squeezing their personal life into their day-to-day activities, squeezing your life into your day. Now, that just says it all to me right there, right? Leaders making themselves available 24/7, and that gets harder and harder, because we don't have a start and a stop to work anymore. It seems like, right? We don't have that punch out,
right?
Time clock kind of a thing. Yeah, leaders prioritizing work over their personal health and well-being. That happens all the time. Leaders suffering from deteriorating relationships at home. Because they aren't giving attention to the things that really, the relationships that are important in their lives, and their families, and they're feeling alone and disconnected from their children and from themselves. They've lost connection with who they are and what really matters to them, and we've heard that a number of times as well. And then just suffering health issues and challenges because they sacrifice their health for their commitment to their work or their organization, and that's just really been, that's harder and harder to overcome when it starts to really impact your physical and mental health, right?
Sure.
So, yeah.
And you want to end life well, you don't want to end up with poor health.
No.
Right?
No. Mm-mm.
So these are just a few of the reasons why we really believe it's time to change leadership norms. And again, we recognize it's not going to be an overnight thing, but it's really important that we start looking at this in a whole new way. And the reason why we talk about it all the time is we really are on a mission to stop leadership burnout.
Yes.
There's no reason that you have to be burnt out if you're a leader. And we keep thinking about those young leaders coming up. And they really don't deserve to follow in our footsteps and stay up till 4:00 in the morning.
No. No, we weren't making any friends back then when we were doing that. Let me tell you, and we shouldn't be doing it now.
Anyway, the new generation deserves something better, and they actually want it, and they will be the ones that will help create it. And creating healthy work cultures. So if we want to create healthy work cultures, we know the leaders are the ones that really create that reality. And we don't want people to end their career and have regrets. And right now, I can tell you that Tracy and I are working with a lot of leaders. We do a little regret kind of informal assessment, and it is amazing how many people already are living lives of regrets, and they might just be getting started in leadership roles or midway through leadership roles. And then it's just really important that all of us are able to excel at work and thrive at home. And that is what we're trying to help leaders do.
Yeah. Well, and to do that, we have to think about, of course, we're going to bring up the polarities that need to be managed as well. So, one of the other norms that we have to overcome is we always look at our challenges as problems to be solved.
Yes.
Right? And so we're always looking at things in an either or lens. And so we know that if we look at some of these challenges that way, we are going to fail over time. If we treat something that has an interdependency that is a polarity as a problem, we will fail over time, 100% guaranteed. We know that. And if we overemphasize, one of those areas of our lives and neglect the other, that also is going to it's also going to compromise our outcomes. And we know our objective is to reap the benefits of both poles when we're dealing with the polarity, right? We want the best of both to get to that greater purpose that we really can't get to alone. And the biggest one when it comes to burnout is the personal life and professional life polarity.
Yeah,
right?
It is. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's the one because we have to do both. We have to thrive and survive and have a great personal life in order to have a strong professional life. They're interdependent. We can't just focus on one and neglect the other. That's what's leading to the burnout and our health decline and all these things. We're not taking care of ourselves. We're not rejuvenating ourselves, and we're not giving our time and attention to the people and the things that matter most in our personal life, which ultimately, right, leaves us without any energy to give to our professional life. So that's why they kind of go hand in hand. And we really have to do both. And that is going to be one of the best ways, right, to overcome burnout, is to just really look at this different and leverage it for the polarity that it really is. And there are some other ones.
Yeah, there's some other polarities too that are really important to leverage, and caring for self and caring for others is really critical. And we know that leaders tend to care for others before themselves. And so that is a key change in behavior that we really are helping leaders do. Activity and rest. You cannot underestimate how important rest is. And then being and doing. We've talked about that polarity on our podcast before too, how important that is. But the thing that really struck me when I read the U.S. Surgeon General's report, going back to that, is one of the 5 essential elements that is delineated in that report is work-life harmony. And we know that to dynamically balance your life, really the only way to do that is to understand that these are polarities that you need to leverage. And that is what helps you achieve work-life harmony.
Yeah. Well, and you can't have that. The harmony is the dynamic balance part of it, right?
Right.
And it's not the 50-50 harmony. Right. But if you don't understand and know
exactly
what a polarity is, but also just, I always come back to, it's the high level of respect for the energy that sits between the two poles, because that's really what you're leveraging. You're leveraging that energy between your professional life and your personal life, or between activity and rest. And if you don't understand that, then you think it's like one big mashup integration, but it's not.
Right.
You have to honor and respect the energy and the tension that sits between these two, because it is a universal law. It's always going to be there. You're not going to relieve it or get rid of it, right? It's there for a reason.
Right.
And I think you just have to really understand that. And it's easy to talk about harmony, but when you don't understand that, you're never going to get that harmony.
Right.
Just never going to happen. It isn't going to happen, folks. That's why we're here. That's why you're listening to the TRU Leader Podcast. We got it for you right here. Right here. Now, the other thing is why we need new norms, but let's talk about some strategies. In addition to polarities, a couple of other strategies are really shifting our beliefs and our interpretations, okay? So our beliefs are just things that we think over and over and over and over. Most of them aren't truth. They're just beliefs. They're just things that we've told ourselves to the point where we believe them to be true. And so we really have to think about how we can shift anything that's limiting us, any beliefs that are holding us back. Think about things that are more empowering for us. And a lot of the leadership norms are just beliefs that we've thought over and over and over. And we act on them unconsciously. So we just need to really be aware of them and then flip them into something that's more empowering and let go of those old norms and create new norms. And we create new norms by replacing those old beliefs with new beliefs. Like, I have all the time I need. I tell myself that all the time.
Yeah.
I have all the time I need. Let me just work within the time I have. It's all I need, right? The other is my health and well-being are the highest priority. And that's one I tell myself all the time. When I'm thinking about, maybe I won't do that, or maybe I'll have that ice cream, or maybe I won't go for my walk. I think, okay, my health and well-being are my highest priority, because if I don't take care of me, then I can't give my best to my business. I can't give my best to Michelle. I can't to our clients, to my family. So that's one of my beliefs, right? Instead of I'm last, I'm first, me first. And then I work smart. I tell myself that all the time. I'm working smart instead of working hard.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
So just a couple examples. The other is to shift how you think about balance. So back to that, creating dynamic balance and having it be more of a flow. And it's not 50-50. It's really about knowing that there will be times when you have to give more attention and energy to different areas of your life, but it's never about letting go and just giving all your attention and energy to one aspect of your life. So learning how to do that and having that be one of your highest priorities, balancing that between your personal life and your professional life. And another thing is vision casting. So it really is about creating your own vision for what success looks like for you. When we're trying to bust through these old norms are the container for success, right? What we've lived by, what we've worked, but to be successful, I got to work hard. I have to sacrifice. I have to say yes. I can't pass up any opportunities. That has really determined what success is for leaders, and we want to create a new way of thinking about success and have you really create your own definition of success. And it doesn't have to be about those things. It can be about, health and well-being and energy and joyfulness. And it doesn't have to be all about achievement. It can be about the combination of excelling at work, but thriving at home as well, right? And just having that vision for that and striving towards that. And then habits. Habits are a huge strategy. And building the habits that make your actions easy and effortless. Because when you create habits, they become things that you just do. Like when you get up in the morning and brush your teeth, right? Or have your first cup of coffee or whatever it is that you do. Pretty much every morning you get up and do the same thing in the same sequence. Almost everybody does, right? And when you create a habit like that, you don't think about it. You just get up and you do it. Because it's easy, it's effortless, it's how you live. And that's what you want to do, is create these habits in your life that support these new leadership norms, support how you feel about being successful.
Yeah, and we share a lot of habit hacks.
Yes.
To make it easier and easier.
Yeah. So once you decide you just decided, and that's it. You don't have to keep deciding. That's the big thing. You don't have to keep, am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? No, that's just who I am and what I do and how I do it, right? So
right.
That is what that is all about. What's your greatest leadership hack?
My greatest leadership hack?
Yeah.
My morning routine, which is a habit.
Mm-hmm.
And then also putting my exercise clothes on my floor in my office by my chair where I do my morning routine. It's called habit stacking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see?
And then I go down, and I always make sure I put my watch on first thing in the morning, too, so that when I do go down and work out, I can hit my goals on my watch.
So it can track it.
So it can track it for me.
Yeah, yeah. See, and I use my Aura ring.
Yeah.
My Aura Ring
use my
tracks me.
watch.
I can tell, like it tracks my resistance, my resilience, it tracks my sleep, it tracks like almost everything for me. And so I can tell, my body will tell me when I haven't had enough rest or I haven't been active enough or I haven't, right? And I really use that to kind of guide me, to help me know if I'm, falling off or moving forward, right? It really, I love it. I love that feedback.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, it tells you, when you're, so using those kind of tools too can really, really be helpful.
And of course, our accelerator plan, our dynamic balance accelerator plan, which we do to manage our work-life balance.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Yeah.
Every week. Every day. Yep. That too. Well, let's just imagine a new world where we have new leadership norms and leaders excel professionally and live fulfilling, thriving personal lives. They're role models of well-being and boundary setting for those that they serve. And we co-create work environments within organizations that support the health and well-being of the whole workforce. And where leaders really define success for themselves on a daily basis. And if we don't have that world, if we don't address the norms that we're working under unconsciously, if we don't create new norms, it leads us to a greater risk that none of us want to experience, where leaders lose the life they really want. In other words, they're living with regret daily. And the organizations suffer as well because there's unhealthy work cultures, poor outcomes. Leaders aren't able to lead in the way that they would really want to and have that positive impact, creating a work culture that serves all and those that they serve, right? And it's really a lose-lose rather than a win-win. And so the new norms we're after really create the win-win for leaders, for organizations, and for everybody that benefits from the services of those individuals and those organizations. And that's what we're all about here. So if you're done experiencing, following this path of old leadership norms, and you want to hear more about how we help leaders really bust through these norms, create new set of norms for themselves to excel at home and at work, then we can't wait to show you this in our free webinar. And that is titled From Stress to Success, the Formula for Leaders to Excel Professionally and Personally. And this is a new webinar that we're just kicking out. It's a free webinar. So click the link in the show notes to learn more about it and to register today.
Yeah, we will see you there.
Oh, yeah. We'll see you inside. It'll be a lot of fun.
It will be a lot of fun. And we want to thank you for listening to us today. We really appreciate each and every one of you. And we hope that you found value in this episode. And if you did, we want to encourage you to share it with others, because that is how more leaders learn how to bust through leadership norms.
Well, we can only do it together.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
We got to do it together.
Yeah. Can't do it by ourselves.
Nope.
Can't do it alone.
Nope.
And leave a comment on our social media channels, on our LinkedIn or YouTube channel. And we'd love to hear from you. Any inspiration that we're able to provide you, any suggestions. We're always here. And if you have not subscribed to our podcast on your favorite platform, please do that to be sure not ever to miss an episode. And subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see us on video.
Yeah. And leave a review. We love reviews.
No, we love reviews. Absolutely. So until the next time, stay safe and stay healthy and bust those norms.
Yeah. See you then.